Okay, we're going to have a little look at percentages and fractions now. So these two things are completely connected together, and any percentage can be written as a fraction, and they'll have exactly this. You don't change the value, you don't make it bigger or smaller, it is exactly the same value. And one that you know very well is this one. 50% is a half, but you may not have thought about why is it a half. So we're going to work out, you may not realize that it is calculated, but we're going to do that today. Okay. So you start off with this word percent, and it literally means out of 100. So to change a percentage into a fraction, we can simply write the percentage over the number 100 and you have made a fraction. For example, 13%, write 13 over 100 and you have a fraction. And those two are the same things. 13% is the same as saying 13 over 100. Sometimes, though, we must cancel a fraction after we do this. And remember, when you're cancelling a fraction, you pick a number that divides into both top and bottom numbers and you divide. So, for example, 34% can write 34 over 100, and that is a fraction. But the best way to write that fraction is 34 over 100. Take the two numbers and divide them by 2, and you get 17 over 50. Now, why did we pick 2? Because 2 is the only number that also goes into 34 and goes into 100. So we're going to have a little look at some examples. So the first one, 9%, you write as 9 over 100. There's no cancelling. Nothing that goes into 9 also goes into 100, so that is the final answer. 38 over 100 is the first part for 38%. You look at the two numbers, and because they're even numbers, 2 will go in. So we're going to divide by 2. Sometimes 4 goes into even numbers, but not into 38. So 2 goes into 38 19 times. 2 goes into 100 50 times. There is no more cancelling. That is the final answer. So let's have a look at 90%. Straighten my camera here. So 90%, you start off writing 90 over 100. Then when you look at the two numbers, you realise that they both end in a 0. So if they end in a 0, you know that 10 will go into these numbers. So we're going to divide these ones by 10. So 10 into 90 goes 9, and 10 into 100 goes 10. Now you have to remember to divide the top number and the bottom number by what you choose. 16%. So we'll write 16 over 100. Now these are two even numbers, so immediately you probably think of 2. But then you remember that 4 goes into 16 and 4 also goes into 100. So we're going to divide by 4. 4 into 16 goes 4 times. 4 into 100 goes 25. And that's it cancelled. All done. 25%. So you write 25 over 100. Now, because 25 ends in 5, you should really be realising that 5 goes into 25 and 5 goes into 100. So we're going to divide these two by 5. 5 into 25 goes 5 times. 5 into 100 goes 20. Now you realise that actually 5 could go into these two numbers again. So that's what you do. You divide by 5 again. 5 into 5 goes once. 5 into 20 goes 4. And there's an answer that you may have known already, that 25% was a quarter. And you can see how we worked it out. Okay. Next one, 79%. So you write 79 over 100. I don't know what's wrong with my phone. when you look at those two numbers, nothing goes into them. So that is a question that does not cancel. So that is the answer, 79 over 100. 48%. So we write 48 over 100. So probably your immediate thing is you think, well, I'll divide by 2. But you should also check, hang on. Oh, this one, I don't know. You should also check 4 when it's even. 4 does go into 100 and 4 does go into 48. So we'll divide by 4. So 4 into 48 goes 12 times. 4 into 100 goes 25 times. So that is your final answer. So just to think about what you're doing when you change a percentage to a fraction, first of all, you put it over 100. You check if it needs cancelled, and if it needs cancelled, you cancel it down. You put the number over 100, and if it needs cancelled, cancel it down. That is what you do.